From the Bay Area to the world, this is the podcast of positivity and professional wrestling. Here's your host on the coast, Ollie the Orator.
Yes, it's a story. Yeah, our government tells us a story.
Hello and welcome to the Sharpshooter. Today my guest is Rikishi. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Are you there?
I'm here. I'm actually here at the Knoxboro domain where I spend a lot of my time training here with new kids of the industry and people that are wanting to learn the ins and outs of professional wrestling. But I'm excited to be on your show, man. How old are you?
6.
6 years old. Wow. And what made you love like professional wrestling?
My dad showed me it and I went to live and I saw the Usos live.
Ah, okay.
We went to
SmackDown.
in February, fortunately before the pandemic hit.
Right.
And he had seen, the boys, he had seen the Usos on TV prior, but seeing them live it took his fandom to a whole nother level. So that's what changed it for him, made him a hardcore fan, right, Ollie?
Well, Ollie, I want to tell you your story since you had the time to go see the Usos perform. At one time they were, at your age as well. And, it was like what they said recently, from the porch to the pay-per-views. And so I used to have to get beds and a lot of my furniture is replaced all the time because those guys would practice professional wrestling and utilize the bed and the couch like a ring. They would break all the furniture. So, you don't do that at your house. I'm sure your pops will be looking after you in that matter. But they were always a big fan of professional wrestling. They lived it 24/7, being that their family is in the industry, and such as myself too as well. So you never know what can happen from 7 years old on up. I think they're like 34 right now. So, things can happen, right?
Yeah, who knows? One day you might be flying off that top rope, right?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Ollie, you want to get into your questions? Go for it, bud.
Top 5 favorite wrestlers.
Wow, that's a tough question for me. Top 5 favorite wrestlers. I'm a big fan of, no doubt, of my uncles.
I don't know him.
My uncle's Alpha Seekers, the WWE Hall of Famers. This is way before your time.
To do, Ollie. Yeah, we're taking notes. Yeah, we got some stuff to study.
And one of my favorites was, I'm a big fan of Jimmy Snuka, Superfly.
Daddy likes him a lot.
Yeah.
Daddy likes Superfly.
I'm also, I like guys back in the day, such as Bret Hart. So that would be probably number 4 of the crew. And then
There ever was and the best there ever will be.
Right. And I'm a fan of the Macho Man as well. These were guys, Macho Man and Bret. These were kind of the guys, Jimmy and my uncles. These were kind of the guys like when I was a young kid who I used to kind of play around on the couch and break my mother and my father's our beds back home, utilize it like a wrestling ring. So, but there's so many of it. Just to pinpoint, just off the top of my head, I'd have to say those top 5s.
Oh, that's a great list.
My top 5.
Yeah, what are yours, Ollie?
Yeah.
John Cena, The Rock.
John Cena, The Rock. Rikishi. I made that top 5 list.
Yeah.
All right.
Roman Reigns.
And
Bret the Hitman Hart.
That's a good top 5.
Got some of your family in there and yourself, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm honored to be on your top 5, my man.
Ollie, let's talk some moves, right? Now, What do we know what Rikishi's move is?
Stink face.
That's right.
Yeah, the infamous stink face. Don't do that at home or anybody.
Yeah, the last few days as we've been prepping and doing our research for this and getting ready, yeah, he's tried the stink face a few times. He got scolded already by mom.
You know, when I do a lot of different shows and a lot of different podcasters and people that I come onto this show, most of the time the parent says, you know, I usually apologize first, because the majority of the time the parents say, you know what you've done in my household? Like a lot of my kids, and you know, even my wives or my family members, you know, the first thing they try to do is stink face. So I apologize.
Oh, that's funny. What are some of your other favorite moves, Rikishi, that you know might not be yours, but stuff that you always admired and appreciated?
Well, for me, my favorite moves are the ones that I know to be able to execute. Of course, is the moves that were trained by me through my family members that came before me, such as the Samoan drop, you know, the splash from the top rope, um, uh, utilizing the uh, leg drop, of course, the bonsai, and of course, you know, I gotta say, probably one of my favorites and the most easiest for me is the stink face. I can continue to do that move when I'm well over 60.
Well, it's definitely an all-time memorable, great move, man.
Yeah.
Ollie, what about you? What are some of your favorite moves?
Electric punch.
Well, what's that?
Wow.
My move.
That's the one
What-
he made up.
Oh, the electric, is that kind of like the Superman punch?
Yeah.
Kind of similar,
No.
like Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
I go from the top rope.
Oh, from the top rope. Well, yours is better than Roman Reigns then. Roman Reigns doesn't do it from the top rope. That Ali does. I got to see that one day.
Yes, sir. What else you got? What else are some of your favorites that we like to watch and talk about?
Sharpshooter.
Of course, the name of our podcast, Sharpshooter, and whose move is that?
Originally bred the him and Hunts.
Right.
All right.
So, Rikishi, when he first saw, because he was, you know, obviously following more of the modern guys, but he thought that The Rock, that was his move, because The Rock's, you know, pulled it off a few times, and then through the show we learned that, you know, the godfather of the sharpshooter is actually Bret Hart.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, the sharpshooter has been around the business for a while. Really, you know, in professional wrestling, nobody really owns the move, but it's those that execute the move and make the move popular. And obviously, out of all the professional wrestlers that has executed this move, of course, we'd have to say Bret Hart. He used that move as what we call a finish in the industry, and finishing means that's the move that he used to be able to either have people submit or people give up, or you get counted out of it. And so, you know, Bret Hart is the one that really has made the sharpshooter memorable and made it famous. And of course, if you ask me who owns it, I'd say Bret Hart owns the move now.
Oh, well said.
Past, present, and future.
Oh, well said. What other moves, Ollie? I know you got a few more that you always like to try on me. Go for it.
Uh-oh.
Want me to give you some clues, some reminders? What about Ric Flair's move? We love that one.
I know.
What is it?
Figure four.
That's right.
Oh,
Figure
Figure four to the figure eight. Yes.
wow. That's his one. That's a hell of a move to like there. You know, when you talk about the figure four again, you know, it's kind of the same answer. Is that, you know, that move there? A lot of people use that move back in the day, but the one that really kind of, you know, brought that to attention and kind of made it famous is, of course, none other than the Nature Point. You know, He uses that finish, and he was the one that I guess he picked that finish to be his finishing move, and made the move even more popular, and at least brought some attention to it, because we all know the celebrity status of Ric Flair. There's only one Nature Boy, and when you think of Nature Boy, you think when you think of the leg lock, figure four leg lock, right off the back you think Ric Flair. So that's a good one, Allie.
Attitude adjustment.
That's right, attitude adjustment. That's what you give everybody if they don't come correct. Attitude adjustment.
Whose move is that?
John Cena.
Yeah, that's your guy, huh?
Yeah, that's definitely a John Cena move. I mean, not too many people use that move, attitude adjustment, right? And so again, the popularity of the wrestler that's using any type of move, if you're that popular, well, that move's become popular.
Absolutely, well said. Tag teams.
Tag teams.
Yeah,
this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I know you definitely got some knowledge about tag teams. Ollie, you want to ask Rikishi who his favorite tag teams are?
Favorite tag teams. I for sure know one.
Oh, wow. My favorite tag team as a kid coming up, I'd have to say the British Bulldogs.
Yes.
They were just, to me, I like how they wrestle. I like how strong they look on TV. I like how these guys here had tons of moves. They were very quick on their feet. Everything that they did in the squared circle was so intense, like it was high energy, high intensity. So to me, they were like the all-around tag team back in the day. And another one I'd have to put up there would be Hawk and Animal, the Road Warriors. Hawk and Animal, when they came into the industry, it was like you see these two come through the arena, you knew like it was it's time to get it on. You never seen anybody come in with mohawks, with spike pads. I mean, they just looked like something that came out the movie. So, with their looks and their work ethic, so original back in the day, it was something that you would want to come pay a ticket to see. And so, we just last week lost Animal, who's Joe Laurinaitis, and definitely wrestling and also the fans as well has definitely lost an icon as far as Hawk and Animal in the business. So, he's left a big mark on a lot of people in the industry, and I'm sure the fans.
Yeah, they are, rest in peace, Animal. They are definitely consistently mentioned by our guests as some of the all-time favorites of wrestlers and fans alike. So,
I mean, you were never a wrestling fan if you don't know who the Road Warriors are. You're definitely not a wrestling fan. Because these guys here were, again, they're worldwide. Did they left their footprints and their marks in the industry.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll share a quick Animal story with you. So Ken Shamrock fought Kimbo Slice for us years ago. I want to say 2015 or 2014. Oh. And Ken had Animal walk him out. So that was like our experience with him. So he, put on the pads and the makeup in the back, and man, we were all so hyped. And he walked
shout out to Ken Shamrock, man.
Yeah.
Brother Kimbo Slice, rest in peace.
Yeah, that's what's up. All right, Ollie, your turn. Seems like you got something on your mind. Tell us, tag teams. Go for it. That's right. Tell us what you think about the Usos.
Super.
Well, tell me your thoughts about the Usos.
Yeah, Ollie, who are the Usos?
Jey Uso.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember the other one.
Jimmy?
Jimmy Uso.
That's right.
Jimmy and Jay. All right. What are your questions about Jimmy and Jay?
I liked them a lot.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
What do you like about Jimmy and Jay?
I like that they have the super kick.
Ah, it's a super kick.
Pretty powerful. It could kick out your teeth.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, 100%. What's another move that you like to see them do?
You love them coming off the top rope, right? All
Frog
those.
splash.
Yeah.
Oh, splash off the top rope. Yeah. How many tag team titles have they won?
I don't really know.
Okay, all right.
Second
So,
favorite.
Well, maybe Rikishi can tell us. We're here to learn as well, buddy.
they've won numerous things. You know, Jimmy and Jay again. You know, if we've paid attention to the recent pay-per-view, they did a little promo video and kind of took you back in time a little bit of what goes on in our family. You know, from the porch to the pay-per-view. These cats here were a handful full as young kids, you know, like any other kids, always getting into stuff and so forth, not only around the house, but I you know, I kept them. I was hard on them in school and in sports ever since they were 5 years old. I threw them into mini mite football, and then from that took them into baseball. And then, you know, a lot of chores at home. You know, I never really let these cats kind of just sit around the house and kind of, you know, run up my electricity and break my furniture. So I kept my boys busy outside. And, you know, there was a big yard for something I'd have them go out there and pull the lawnmower, you know, and they would sometimes want to, you know, kind of give me hints. Can we get a riding lawnmower? But I wouldn't do that. I do everything so they can keep their body moving and keep their mind focused on just, you know, staying busy and keeping their time productive. And so, you know, as they grew up, you know, by the time they were 14, 15, I kind of got a little hint about them, you know, in the business. And this is before they went into college. They were still playing football at Escambia High School, Pensacola, with Roman Reigns and so forth. But, you know, meaning that, you know, what I got the hint is just, I had a wrestling ring in the back of my place. And so I would see these guys actually in the real wrestling ring and already starting to do things of what I already see a grown adult at 20 something years old already doing it on TV. And so my thing was that, you know, I knew I was going to have this conversation one day, and I was kind of preparing myself for it. I wanted my kids, you know, obviously to go into college, which they did. But my goal was that at 45, I wanted to be on an NFL field, to be able to watch. You know, I had no idea Roman's going to go to as well into professional wrestling, but those three were the triple threat, and the plan was to be on the you know, NFL field and to be able to watch them, you know, do their thing there. And of course, me retired by then, right? But you know, as you know, came college, we had the conversation that they needed to talk to me about. Now, I had no idea it was about professional wrestling. I had no idea. I'm thinking that, okay, something happened, that, you know, it's a father-son thing that they need to talk to me important about. And that's what it was, is they changed the plan instead of wanting to go into pursue NFL football, that they wanted to join the family business. And the rest was history from there. I never questioned their athletic ability. I never, you know, questioned their smarts as far as being prepared for the industry. my thing as a father, I just didn't want them to go through the sacrifice of what I did to be able to miss time at home, miss important days, with birthdays and Christmas and Thanksgiving, these things here that I can never get back. And I never wanted them to go through it, but this is the choice they made, and now they're actually going through what I went through, and so I don't have no sympathy for that now. All I can do is just support them.
Oh man, that's so interesting how that wasn't the master plan in the beginning.
Yeah.
You weren't putting pressure on them to get in the family biz. They just kind of found their own way, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's wrestling for our family. It's already a solid open door as far as for WWE now, and it doesn't mean because you're bloodline to us that you could just really walk through that door. A lot of us have to, and those that come after us, they have to make the choice. There's pressure of being able to follow into the footsteps of some of the greats in the family that came before you. And now, everybody wants to, that's a huge pressure. I know for me was being able to follow into the footsteps of my uncles, Alpha and Sika. You have Uncle High Chief Peter Maivia. So I used to question myself, I can't be, either I'm going to be just as good as them or better. There's no like coming in and you're just less, being from a Samoan culture family, there's just so much pride that we carry from who we are as people, who our family is. It's even deeper before professional wrestling. So when you step into the industry like that, it's not just us coming into the industry, it's coming with the weight of the whole family that you're actually representing, even though they're not there or people don't know about them. But that's the pressure that a professional wrestler such as myself and nephews and those that came, that's what we carry. And so when you see us come out, with tattoos or lava-lavas or our culture, spears or necklace, that's all the signs of us, that who we are, that we're walking in together, not only the culture, but the family and everybody else that's polynesian with us.
Yeah, that definitely shows, and it stands out. You guys are definitely going in there representing something bigger than just yourself. Yeah. And I think that's what makes you guys so special, and people see that.
Yeah, it's just important for you to, in anything you do, whatever business or whatever sports that you just like to go to, not even, it doesn't have to be professional wrestling, but, those type of things matter. It can really help you to be able to, succeed and move on, because we're all different. In this world, like, they might say I'm not meant for that. But at the end of the day is, you got to be able to have that mental, tunnel vision, mentally sound. You got to have the support from those that truly love you. And, that's all you need. Do your homework. You got to train like you've never trained before. Educate yourself like you've never done before to be the best at it. And that's all you can do, is you try to do the best you can. You're good within yourself, and you're good with that.
Wow, that's good stuff. Powerful stuff. There's a few members of your wrestling family.
Yeah,
we were.
I got tons of them.
Yeah, so there's a couple members.
Yeah.
That we were watching, showing Ollie some videos last night from your wrestling family. But who?
It was not night.
Who? Okay, well, during the day, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
Who are some of Rikishi's partners, his wrestling family, that you saw that?
Scotty Too Hottie.
Okay.
Shokishi.
Shokishi was what really got him. He was dancing. He couldn't, like, Daddy, play it again. That partnership, that duo right there was something else, man. That was all time.
During that time with Too Cool with Scotty and Grandmaster Sexy, rest in peace. That was one hell of a ride for myself. Not only that, running up and down the road with these two cats here, it was good times for us. And, I couldn't happen to a better crew to be able to enjoy that time in my career. That group there, Too Cool Rikishi, was different back in that era. It was kind of like the crossing over the line of PG, the Attitude Era. And, our group came out like happy, fun type of gimmick. Everybody was, it's like we go out there, we entertain, and then we want to, we bust a move and make the whole arena happy and everybody that's watching. And then to top it off, and then they hit them with the word, hit them with the stink face. So a lot of our moves with this crew here was not really like something like you would think somebody's like, oh, he's hurt, or oh, it made you more so laugh. It made you more so happy, like to try to want to do those type of moves back in the day. So, it was a good time with Too Cool. And during that era, that group, well, I mean, we were on fire, man. I mean, we got over so quick with the fans with that new trio, and I believe because it was something fresh during the time. It was something new that people never seen before, and of course, a lot of the guys, back in the day with the business, they would try something different, like because the dance was so over, they would put different people like Chris Jericho, Trish Stratus, Edge, the Dudley Boys. I mean, probably the whole roster back in the day danced with us. Some of it they didn't show it on TV because it was like a dark match. But one time when that came up with Big Show, well, I guess they thought it would be a good idea to be able to have Big Show in the Rikishi thong and the Rikishi belt, and that's how he came up with that name, Show Kishi. And during that time, it was a funny thing for a lot of us in the back dressing room, because of course nobody's ever seen Big Show in a thong and a sumo belt. But you know what? I got to give it to him because he did it like a champ. Like it didn't even bother him. He knew, and this is how professional this guy is, that he knew what his role was, and that's to be able to go out there and to entertain. And he wasn't biting off of the Rikishi character. He wanted to deliver something that the fans will probably only see one time only and never see it again. And so I'm glad he did do it with a smile. It's one of those things like fans will remember for years and years to come, because that's the only time Big Show did that, was to be able to, as far as with me, getting into the ring and dancing with Rikishi and in a thong and a sumo belt.
That was fun, Holly. We loved Rikishi and Show Kishi. That was great.
He's a good guy. Shout out to Big Show.
Now, you weren't always a face, though, right? I mean, Ollie, let's make sure you remember these wrestling terms, though. What's a bad guy?
A heel.
Okay. And what's a good guy called?
A baby face.
Okay.
That's great.
And
7 years old. You already know who's a heel and who's a baby face.
What do you think Rikishi was?
Baby face?
Was he always a baby face?
No.
No, he wasn't always a baby face.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. I wasn't always a baby face. I was a heel, back and forth, but I enjoyed. If you ask me, I really enjoyed being a heel. Being a bad guy on TV, it's just so much easier to have people hate you than to have people like you. To be able to be a baby face, you got to work so much harder to have those fans be behind you, and whatever that character that you are, portraying out there, it's two things can happen. Either the fans going to love you, or they're going to boo you. And nothing like having the fans boo you and you're still trying to be a baby face.
Yeah. You almost got to be perfect, huh? And that's harder to
yeah,
do.
it's so much harder work. And you know, we were bad guys back in the day with SST, when we were actually the first Paul Heyman guys, me and my cousin Samu. And years later, we actually came to NWA, and that's when we were able to dance with some of the best in the business, such as the Steiner brothers, the Road Warrior, Hawk and Animal. We danced with the Freebirds. So these are a lot of technical power and people with psychology in the industry. All mixture. If you look at Road Warriors, you look at Steiner Brothers, then you look at the Freebirds. You got a mixture of different type of vibes working against these different tag teams. And so you learn a lot of, you know, you have to learn how to adapt when you're working against a power team like the Road Warriors, or when you're working against a charismatic team like the Freebirds, or when you're coming against, you know, power and amateur wrestling like Steiner Brothers. And that's what really helps us back in the day as being the heel, is to be able to adapt and be able to learn mixture of these three different teams, which help mold who the SST was. The SST, we were able to work with anybody. And when I mean anybody, I'm talking about anybody in the industry. If they ever said that they had a bad match with the Samoans, they're lying to you. That's how good we were. We can either, in this industry, we can either shoot on you, meaning take you out when we want to, or we can, you know, what we call a night off. We can make it easy and let's work with each other. And so most of the time, they pick to work with us rather than shoot with us.
Man, that is some fascinating insight right there. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you for opening up, telling us about the family, you know, sharing some of your favorites.
Well, it's important to me that, you know, especially with Ali's show, he's 7 years old. I believe that his YouTube channel will continue to grow. But it's the messages that different sportsmen or entertainment people that are in the industry, that what is it they leave on Ali's channel? You know, at the end of the day, it's the message, it's the learning, it's the, you know, motivation of how this person, the special guest that came onto his show, became who he is or who she is. That way, hopefully, it'll be able to help the future kids of the industry, for the world, that matter.
That is so awesome. Thanks for the positivity in pro wrestling.
I'm actually 6.
Oh, you're 6. Well, now you know Kishiko say you're 7 years now.
Ollie, how fun was this? What do you say?
Thank you.
Well, listen, thank you, Ali. I'm very, very honored and to be on your show. I'm very honored to meet your father, Rich, as well. I do want to say this, that you're just 7 years old right now. You do and enjoy life as a 7-year-old kid. You continue to have fun. You have a father there that cares deeply about you, and know that you are safe. Know that he's your best friend. He's your protector. He's your savior. He's your teacher. He's everything above. And know that you are loved. Know that I am rooting for you. And I hopefully one day that you're able to bring me back on your show when you're the guy, so I can ask you questions. All right?
Oh man,
Okay.
Kishi, that was so deep, bro. I was about to cry, man. Thank you.
It's okay to cry. That's all right.
Bye bye.
Thank you. And we're gonna come see you. We're gonna visit you when things get a little better out there. We're gonna come visit you at the school too. How's that sound?
Yes, by all means. You can always reach me on all my social media there, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. It's at The Real Rikishi. And also here at Knox Pro is KNOKXPRO.com. You want to get ready to learn from the pros, you know where to find me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time.
Bye,
You're a legend.
bye.
You're a great person.
God bless you
We
guys.
love you. Thanks, Rikishi.
All right.
Bye.
Love you, man.
What, crocodile?
Bye.